picture, your
So,
nightmare.
Eh? Somebody go enter an office in a nightmare. How can you have a progressive discussion in the office with that kind of picture hanging on your wall? Anyways, I don't even know if I get the power to repeat what I don't talk here today, because the protest today, as I begin, we are taking the protest to the chat room that PO is and with the obedience. How can obedience be asking those kind of questions, and how will PO be responding like that? I thought we were going to discuss power. Power that will never be given, power that can only be taken. I thought we were going to reaffirm. People stood for 24 hours, literally, to cast their votes in this 2023 general election. Come on. People were killed. People were burnt, for goodness sake. Never in the history of Nigeria, at least we know that we have ballot snatching and all of that, but people were whipped out of their polling booths in daylight with video cameras on. And we get up tomorrow, in a few hours from now, Buhari is going to step down, the most useless man in the history of Nigeria, incompetent, the most, I don't even have a word to describe Buhari, the most insensitive. And yet power is going to move to somebody who didn't even come third position. I believe that Kwankwaso came third position. He came fourth position. And the man is going to be sworn in. And Obedience and PO are sitting together. And what are they discussing? They are discussing how he went to one school in Lokoja or in Kogi State. And he fell down, and the students were climbing over his head. And he was happy because all they needed was 1.2 million that he could have used at a dinner party in Lagos. And he provided that for them. And that's the kind of discussion we're having in the eve of the most fraudulent election in the history of Africa. That we in this group, the Free Nigeria Movement, are marking the 70th day of our consistency. We have been on the road exactly 70 days from today. The fear was palpable. The Unity Founding was packed with police people, with DSS. We got up on that place, gathered our people, held hands, blocked the road, and marched to INEC. The next day, we went to National Assembly. The next day, we went to the UN. We went to ECOWAS. We went to all the places. With sweat, blood, and guts, activated the entire the entire international community. And as we speak today, people have come in from Nasarawa, from Sokoto, from Adamawa, from different places. And people sat on Twitter spaces discussing, being happy that they are talking to their principal.
Discussing pre-election activity.
Being happy that they are given the microphone to speak. Oh, come on. Come on. Let me give it over to Ambassador Jennifer. Ambassador Jennifer, please, the mic is yours. Take it from there. Ambassador Jennifer, are you there?
I'm here. I'm trying to unmute my mute. Oh, God. Funny enough, good evening, everybody. I'm so glad I'm seeing the same names, the same faces that we started 70 days ago. Congratulations, my newfound family, my new friends. You know, everyone on this group, I appreciate you. Today is a day to appreciate each and every one of you. This has been a struggle indeed. Dr. Mo, I might not have told you, but I'm going to just tell you today, you are one in a million. You are quite a leader. Leaders are born. No matter how you try, if you're not, you're not. Thank God you're a leader, you're not a manager. If you're a manager, this group would have been broken a long time ago. We appreciate you, all the insults you have taken, I'm glad you rubbed okra and ewedu all over your body. Everyone that fell went off, because that was just the best thing that you do. You didn't respond to every evil. You didn't respond to every insult. All you did was take it and move on. We appreciate you from the bottom of my heart, from the bottom of my belly, from the innermost of my being. I say thank you. Thank you, Injanje. Injanje, is it Injanje Media? Injanje Media, thank you. Thank you so much for standing by us at this movement. Without you, a lot wouldn't have been done. We appreciate you. God bless you. God bless you. God bless you. Ndidi one name, Abina, Ndidi name 43, Ndidi one name 73, Ndidi one name 75. God bless you. You left us, you're over there, but you have never left this movement. If I start going with names, so I will not stop. Maureen, everyone, I appreciate all of you. I was on that call. I was on that Twitter space too with a PO. I had to get off because it was just nonsense. That if I talk, it will be, I don't know how to talk because I'd have just said things that would make everybody just get mad. So I was listening, waiting, because I went there too with this enthusiasm that yes, you're going to say something that will get me excited. And I said, you know what? Let me just get off the space. This is not for me. Let me get ready. When we come back here, all I'll do is appreciate you. 7 days, 70 looks like the last day is not the last day. We're just going to strategize and come back. I don't know about you guys, so I'm not giving up because they will be tired of me. I am not giving up. After all, whatever is supposed to happen has happened. Waiting again. I have seen 99. What is 100? There's nothing to it. So my newfound family, God bless all of you. I love you all. They say in America, I love. No, it's from the bottom of my heart. I love you all. Peace out. Back to you.
Whoa. Whoa. Love you loads. Love you loads. Love you loads. Love you loads. Yeah. And guess what? We had to do that. We had to let the whole world know you lost your job, you lost $1 million contract, and to hear your voice simply because you stood by us, with us. You stood against tyranny, you stood against bad election, you stood for the right thing. Hearing you, how can one give up? It is you that they submitted your name to DSS. They took your name to your pastor, submitted your name to all kinds of, ensure that you lost your job, for those who don't know. And you are here strengthening us and encouraging us. You have done what Mandela has done. You have done what Mahatma Gandhi has done. You've taken the bullet that Martin Luther King took. That's what you have done. On the account of you, we will continue to march on and reclaim our mandate and take. We will not acknowledge what is going to happen tomorrow. We will not acknowledge it. On the account of this, on this suffering and on the pain, we will stand and ensure that we have a good country where people will not be sacked because they stood for righteousness, because they stood for justice, because they stood for what is right. On the account of that, we move on. Princess, the mic is yours.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, my newfound family, like Ambassador Jennifer just said. It was really a wonderful time together, these 70 days. It wasn't easy at all, but it was a great time. And we learned a lot. We learned what leadership and followership is all about. I believe in everything you do, in every movement, what you learn from it is what is most important. The experience, at least we can talk out of our own experience, what we went through, all the places we went to, how we did our submissions, what it takes to be out there on the streets in the protest, the procession, the organization. It was a school. It wasn't an easy school anyway, but we went through it and hoping that something was going to be done positively. I just want to say to all of us that all hope is not lost. We'll keep fighting, whether on the street, whether on Zoom, in our private rooms, in our prayers. We'll keep fighting until we get that better country that we so much desire. We're not giving up. It might look like we maybe follow the wrong candidate or something, but I still believe that God has a way of working. He said he will choose the foolish things to confirm the wise. Because this Peter Obi's issue is becoming a small God to some people. Talking to him, they feel like they've seen God. Just like when some Catholic people see a Reverend Father, it's like they've seen God here on earth. For me, no pastor, no reverend or whatever. It's God. They are all humans and they all have their shortcomings. And it's only God that knows who is right and who will make the heaven we're talking about. This evening, excuse me, I was so disappointed at that Twitter space. I went there. I didn't even stay for like 10, 15 minutes. I just said, let me save my data and save my battery for the Zoom meeting tonight. But unfortunately, I had just 5-10%. I tried to put on my gen and it was a bit impossible. And I tried for the last time because I really wanted to be here, being the 70th day, to be part of this meeting tonight. And somehow the generator came up and I plugged my phone. In fact, all those people on that Zoom meeting, they are the most brainless and senseless people I've ever met in my life or heard in my life because their questions were so irrelevant. Somebody came up asking Peter Obi, introduce yourself again. It's not like people that we don't know their name, the schools they went to and all that. And Peter Obi, what will I even say? Just started talking. Saying his name is this, he was born here, lives in Onitsha, he's talking from Onitsha. How he did it, whatever, became bank manager, whatever, chairman at 38. But I said, what is all this? Is this why we are there? Thousands of people were only looking for 1,000 to 5,000 on the streets. And you people are here talking nonsense. You are relaxed. You have moved on already as far as I'm concerned. Instead of you to ask him questions, the mic couldn't get to me. If not, I knew what I would have told Peter Obi tonight. I would have told him he is the problem the obedience have. Maybe we made a mistake. And I would have told him of a Facebook blogger that I entered Facebook today, and one Pararan was showing one video about how this whole thing was a planned work. Then I would have told him, Peter Obi, so you came to play with our intelligence and our emotions and brought us out to the streets to come and vote, and then allow the youth to come and vote, and then their votes were not counted for them to lose hope, and then the country will die. Because Pararan said that there was a video he showed, but they were talking in Yoruba, how the whole thing was a plot, how Tinubu and Patutomi are best of friends or very close, how Patutomi was the presidential candidate of Labour, how Peter Obi left PDP and Tinubu told Patutomi to step down for Peter to go to Labour so that the votes will be divided, so that it will be scattered and Atiku will not get enough votes. That all this thing was a planned work. I would have told him that's what we are hearing now. He should come and defend it. Because for him to say, if I don't get the power today, I'll get it tomorrow, then maybe he knows something. Peter Obi have a lot of questions to answer. Did he come to waste our time? I have never been involved in politics in my life. I did door-to-door Jehovah Witness campaign. If I was moving like that, preaching Christ, I'm sure I will have more crowns in heaven than doing this kind of work that this man is now talking and telling people to calm down. He came out and told us that he's not the one going to the presidency. He's only going there, that we are the one going through him. Then keep quiet for us to move now. You now came when they now robbed us and raped us. You are not telling us to calm down. A woman they are raping, you should keep quiet. That means she's enjoying it now. She's enjoying it. That's why you're telling her to keep quiet, and then she will keep quiet. It's so unfortunate. It's only God that knows. Maybe we'll understand later what this is all about, because right now I don't understand it. Is it that we came out for the wrong person? I don't get it. I don't get it. But in all, I know that this will not end like that. The Free Nigeria movement have done a lot. They have done a lot. I'm so proud of everyone here that stood for truth and so fearless. We say it the way we see it. We don't pamper anybody. We don't romance anybody. They are romancing Peter Obi. What is the meaning of that? They've made him a god now. They've made him a god. What are you romancing him for? Instead of you to tell him the truth, somebody came out and was saying, I applaud you. One came and was praying for him, reading Psalm 91 or something. And all that, he that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High and blah, blah, blah. Would have turned it to church now already and start collecting offering and tithes. I don't get it. Another one say, you've done nothing completely. I've not seen any fault in you. Talking nonsense. How would they say they didn't see any fault in him? The next thing Peter will be saying, I'm humble. That you know that that's how I am. It's my nature. I'm very humble. Humble to a fault. Sometimes that humility can be stupidity. He should be hearing me wherever he is, because I'm not happy. I'm not happy at all. You cannot bring us this far and come and mess us up. We look like fools and idiots. People pay to get voters card. People pay 3,000, 4,000, 5,000, lining up to collect that card. Voted. I came back to my house 4 a.m. because we were protecting our votes. Waited till everything cleared. Walking, there was no vehicle on the road. I trekked a long distance from where I was to my house at 4 a.m. What a risk. What if somebody has killed me? You now come and tell us to calm down instead of it to be quiet. Sometimes it's good to be quiet. If you didn't make that statement, maybe it would have been more on the streets. But everybody now using it instead of using their number 6. They say he said we should calm down. He knows what he's doing. Is it the 3 years he used in fighting his mandate or whatever as governor that he wants to use to fight? By then, Tinubu done the roundup. Except God does something. Then they just came and just doing anyhow. Why he brought his son and saying that it's the best thing he has ever done. He's happy he did the best democracy and all that nonsense. That man doesn't have conscience. That Buhari is a fool. Is that man's brain working at all? Or is he even really the one, or he's wearing a mask and pretending? Can you say such a thing? People that if you are doing bad and you don't know you're doing bad, you're worse than Satan. Some people don't even know when they are wrong. That's foolishness of the highest order. Adult fools everywhere in Nigerian politics. One came with you and was telling me, the obedience, we don't have sense. That what we were supposed to do is the youth have come out and then choose a candidate. We should form our own party and choose a candidate. We went and said, Peter Obi, that they are all the same. That didn't come from PDP and all that. I said, well, you might be right. Maybe we were actually the fools. Then we need to wake up and do what is right for us and get this country back for our own children. Because time is not even on our side. They have messed us all up. They have. We were the only voices that stood out there, the Free Nigeria movement. We tried. We went everywhere. We lent our voice for the whole nation, for us to be heard all over the place. And some people came and were cashing out from it. And some are coming to romance the person that we put in the vehicle to drive us. We were the passengers. He would have allowed us to get to our destination. Then we'll tell him, driver, stop the motor here. We won't come down. Peter Obi is not a good driver. He's not. He needed to be rugged. People want to take evil. They say they are taking it by force. You want to take good. You are doing smeh. How can you be doing like that? It's violence. Now, violence for violence. You think power will be safe to you according to Tinubu on the table like a la carte? You have to grab it, snatch it, and run away with it. And that's exactly what he did. And we are watching him. And tomorrow is the day. Except the supernatural happens tomorrow. If not, Tinubu is our president. And any law that comes does it. Maybe the young law that is already having they were doing party. Was it yesterday or the day before yesterday? Welcoming her. They are saying she's the strength of her father. Helping her father, this and that. She's the young law. Now she'll be the young law of the whole Nigeria. Do you know what that means? For all our mothers, even the ones selling pure water and selling atarugu in the market, will be paying money tax inside market and giving Tinubu water. You people know what that means? Whether you sell market or not, that the agboros will disturb you. For small space in the market, 500, 1,000 a day, where you know see buy Gary, give your children. Gary now moved with 600 naira. Gary is scarce because nobody can go to the farm anymore. People are dying every day, and people are romancing Peter Obi. For what now? Even my state, nobody goes to farm anymore. There's a village now wiped off. It's full of herdsmen. You can't see yams from Benue like that anymore. If you see okra in the market inside wheelbarrow, it's full of people selling them. They have already taken over the country. Very soon, you and I will be in the bush pursuing cows and sheep. People will think you have a country, you are there romancing somebody and pampering him. You've done nothing wrong. You still remain our president-elect in this and that. He's not your president-elect, though. He's in court. He's in court. He said he will follow court. He will be there. Even telling you people that he was in court, even going to court sitting alone when you Anambra. And some of you are busy saying, this one you're not alone, we'll be following you. Be following him now. Be following him. I pray we get it. God will just do something, if not in this stupidity that you people are Nigeria. So naive, people have never seen. Haba, so naive. What kind of voila is this? Is it not enough? Una never suffer, do? All die and die. How many times people they die? Somebody have to pay the price. You lose some, you gain some. If you die a hero, it's better than to die an idiot and a stupid person. Like Buhari that is going so stupidly. He's walking out of the villa inside car. They were playing one useless music as if you're in Titanic. They say emotional moment. What stupid emotional moment? With all the money we even chop, you not even fat. See as it thin for there. Just carry himself like one sugar cane. They move inside Bada, outside Bada. That man is so annoying. He will not go in peace. Oh, he will not go in peace. Now me talk, he will not go in peace. Except he is not born of a woman and he never sucked his mother's breast, or he's not walking on land, or he's not drinking water, or eating salt in his food. If he's doing any of these things I've mentioned, Buhari will never know peace for bringing us to this level. He's saying he has done a better democracy than 2015. Who is better democracy? That man is worse than the devil himself.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
God have mercy on all of us.
Sorry, Dr. Moore, may I interject a little bit, please? Hello, Dr. Moore.
Yes, please. Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, everyone.
Yes, can you hear me? Mazi, go ahead.
Yes, Mazezoke speaking. I honestly do understand our anger, but please, in our moment of anger, let us not amplify the Agbado gang's fake news. You know, when you read and people say that, oh, it was a plan for them to come and do XYZ, these are fake news that even Professor Pat Otumi has come out to debunk. And many of us, myself included, who also know that that is fake news from the pit of hell. You, in your moment of anger, may not like the demo or how His Excellency Peter Obi may appear to be handling some of the issues. But there is an adage that says, he who wears the shoes knows where he pinches. The burden of how many millions of Nigerians that entrusted their vote, including myself, is upon his shoulders. And you know it, and I know it as well, that in all this, they are trying to get him use certain words to turn this nation upside down. Sometimes leadership calls for cool-headedness. Even in this Free Nigerian movement, we have had intel. Those of us who have joined us 3 days ago, maybe 2 days ago, when we had a press conference, said that we are calling off the protest. Coming out of the appeal court on Friday, people accosted me saying, why did the movement sell out? That the movement has been given money by the APC. Now, for someone who does not know what happened, who didn't read or who didn't attend the press conference to understand the reasoning behind why that decision was taken, that individual might go out there ranting that Dr. Moore or Mazezok or any other person has collected money from the Agbado gangs and has sold out. I appeal to us. let us channel our anger appropriately. One thing is very sure, like Pastor Tunde Bakari wrote in his epistle yesterday, that he is not going to call Tinubu my president, but he can only address him as the president of Federal Republic of Nigeria. If you pay attention to those, one is that he is not taking ownership. It is not, or rather, he is not his president, but he can be the president of Nigeria, those who agreed that he is their president. You and I can also agree in that terms, and I believe that is the trajectory that I'm going to take. He is not my president. He could be the president of those who agree within Nigeria that he is their president, but not mine. Why? The reason is very simple. For, as P2B usually say, for you to answer His Excellency, the process by which you emerge to be called and to be given that accolade must be excellent. And sadly, this process hasn't. You also made allusion to the statement given by Buhari. I agree with you in toto there, because when I listened to Buhari's statement, I thought to myself, maybe there is something that those in power either drink in water or smoke, or maybe they put that in their air condition, that they lose touch with the reality. That someone of that caliber who had contested election 3 times, or rather 5 times, and won 2, would then open up his mouth to say this is the freest and this is the, that he has improved so much on these elections. And I wonder myself, this election is no better than the re-election of Obasanjo in 2003 under the Professor Morrissey Wuru. It's not even better than the 2007 election. This is the first election where I've seen adult professors write results that is worse than what a 2-year-old that is learning how to hold a pen can write. And that is what mutilation of results does to an adult's brain. This is the election that I have seen. Fake professors, as the case in River State. They say he is a professor in River State University, and you go to that university, he's nowhere to be found in the records. He doesn't exist. Yet, he is seen on a public television announcing result. And as we speak, no one has declared him wanted. No one has talked about arresting him. Everyone just keeps on going as if, everything is okay. I don't know. All I'm just saying is, in our moment of anger, please, let's be mindful not to help those who plant messages and informations to split us gain momentum, because there is no need to help them amplify their messages. On this note, I yield. Thank you very much, Dr. Mo.
Thank you so much. I was going to actually do that, particularly on the Patu Tommy case, but I think you've done a perfect job on that, on the rebuffer, and we often do that, especially at moments like this. Princess, that was beautiful, but just, like we said, like Mazi rightly, put that caveat. The anger tonight is that of methodology and the way things have been handled. No one is selling out. No one is going off, and rightly so. We remembered, was it yesterday or the day before yesterday, when we had, what's her name, Angel, and one other lady over the video they did that Festus Kiamo took and started making jest of us. We will not give room for people to do that with us. We will get angry, but we will channel our anger appropriately, and not. Adutomi is one of the most fearless, dogged, obedient leader. He's been there. He's been fighting in the last 40, 50 years. And yes, people will come at us with all kinds of stuff. I think even up until now, a lot of people didn't quite get why we had to do that. What's it called? The press conference. There was supposed to be a bombing, and they were going to tie it completely to the Free Nigeria movement, and we had to do that disclaimer, to just do that. And of course, a lot of other things came with it. It's part of what we have to bear, But as we go with it, this is what we must do, to keep hitting hard, and ensuring that we keep ourselves, within and online. So that being said, let's pour in the anger, let's channel it appropriately. One of the things we have done very well in channeling and anger is destroying the personality and the person of Professor Yakub Mahmoud. He's a criminal. Rain everything on him. The same thing with the most hypocritical human being on the face of the planet called Muhammadu Buhari. So hypocritical. He's the most, his hypocrisy stinks to the high, heavens. And we need to call him out for who exactly he is. Who is here? Fortunatus, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Good evening, everyone. Before I go on with my protest, I've been watching that guy, that parara of a guy. He has been promoting the obedient case for a while. But I observed that since after the declaration of the president-elect by the fraudulent INEC chairman, the guy's statements, his information, which he passes through his kits, has changed. He keep on bringing issues that tends to deter the efforts of the obedient without doing proper investigation as to the cases before he brings it up and promote it in his platform. That being said, this evening, I'm really not happy because if something has happened that has really given us a kind of negative feeling, then the meeting tonight would have been a different ball game entirely. Because what I saw at the meeting is people who were not opportune to have spoken or to have had PO on their platform pre the election and are having him post-election. Instead of facing the reality on ground, the issues on ground, they tend to draw back to what they should have done pre-election. I see a lot of excitement in them having PO on their platform. And PO from the session was on a Zoom meeting. I don't even know who pulled him from that Zoom meeting to the Twitter space. Because if you observe, you will notice that Aisha was trying to redirect him. And they keep countering it. And they messed up the whole 2 to 3 hours of that meeting. I tried to log in to be able to make statements so that we can change what we discuss or what we are discussing on the Twitter space, to change the narrative. But they keep not allowing me to come in. They build the discussion, the questions around themselves that has been hosting that Twitter space, which is wrong. Even while Aisha was trying to ask PO that thousands of people are waiting on this thing, they tend to counter it as if it's a fight to have PO a minute here and a minute on the other side. This is not what we stand for as obedience. And I tend to dislike that. It's totally out of context. And that is the reason why what is the issues that were supposed to be discussed were not discussed. Start talking about different things, trying to know PO again. Who doesn't know PO? Every information about him has been on the public space since the period of campaign. Habamana. And look at the issues of the president's statement, telling Nigerians that they should not look into the issue of rising debt profile, but should look into his achievements over the 8 years. And I ask myself, what are those achievements when the infrastructural state of Nigeria is in total decadence, when the educational sector is in total collapse, when the health sector is not functioning and doctors are all jackpiring into different countries of the world, when security is zero, at zero level, killings everywhere without nobody talking. And the president is coming out to tell us that we should not worry about the 77 trillion Nigerian debt profile. But look at his achievement. I begin to ask, what are those achievements that the outgoing president is proud of? What are the achievements that the APC government for the past 8 years are proud of? I can't stand to lay my hand on anything. The power situation in Nigeria has gone from worst to no level. There is no light anywhere in this country. So I don't understand. Is it that they are mentally derailed, or is it that there is another country Buhari is ruling? Maybe he's referring us to Niger. Is he talking about the Niger Republic where he has achieved a refinery, or Niger Republic where he has channeled railway line to? I don't understand. Is there any other country he's referring to than the Nigeria that all of us are in? I don't get it. As far as I'm concerned, this is the worst government ever in the history of Nigeria. Worst government ever. Worst Senate, National Assembly ever. And this is the period Nigerians have shown their worst weakness. We have shown total weakness. Look at the situation of the country. In Nigeria that has a constitution, a constitutional provision that says, even my daughter who is about to write junior year, my second daughter, I was just discussing, he said that when there is an and, is a conjunction. He said it means that this and this put together. And the judges who has been ordained or crowned son, who took oath of office to protect and uphold the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, are coming to twist it. Look at the electoral law that even himself, President Buhari, said electoral act that he signed into law, which says that this is the process through which we can elect a president and other elective positions in Nigeria. And he signed it. Out of corruption, out of scam, out of fraudulent activity, out of wickedness, they buried everything on the ground and came up mutilated from what do they call it? CO8 or whatever. Uploaded. If you go to the INEC iRev there, you will see mutilated results. You will see cancelled. And I begin to ask, what kind of a country is this? Is this the information that will be out there in the space that anybody around the world can click into the INEC and look at what is being posted? Is it not time we become so ashamed of ourselves and retreat from the old wicked and corrupt ways of doing things and change our lifestyle and change the way we do things? Now they have fraudulently declared a drug baron to be president. And by tomorrow, he will take oath of office. His immunities will resurrect. and they expect him to allow justice to prevail, he will do everything within his powers. It is only God can counter him. Because if you watch the way we obedience are going, if you watch the way even PO is taking things, bro, power is not given a la carte. It is not served on the table and say, hey, we have seen that you actually won this election. Or your judge, pronounce him. Nobody will do that. Nobody will do that. If we don't show resilience, if we don't show provocative, violent exhibition, that no, Nigeria must be better, that no, the rule of law must be followed, bro, nothing will happen. And Bola Ahmed Tinubu will run for 4 years and go and mark it. After that 4 years, he will run for another 4 years because he would have built everything structure around that nobody will be able to penetrate. I know him very well. Take his antecedents. Go back to the drawing board and study Tinubu. Once he becomes president, he will build a structure in everywhere that nobody will be able to take power away from him until he feels he wants to, after 8 years, and he wants to hand it to someone else. Go and mark it somewhere. So if we don't achieve this thing that we have been fighting now, because this is a clear case of scam, a clear case of forgery, a clear case of mutilation of election results, a clear case of abandonment of electoral process. He did not win 25% in the FCT, which has deprived other people. This thing has been adjudicated 2008, 2003. This is not the first time this issue is coming up. And the same Supreme Court upheld it and said, no, and is a conjunction. 25% in the FCT is a must. So why is it a thing that they will be dribbling, dancing about at this time? Up till today, INEC has refused our lawyers access to the electoral data. All the evidence they need, INEC have refused to allow them. And nobody is talking about that. From 30th, next tomorrow on Tuesday, they're supposed to be bringing all this evidence. If you don't bring evidence to the judiciary, to the judges, and say, no, this is the evidence we have at hand. Even as the Constitution provides that, yes, there must be a BVAS, electoral law, and the Constitution says, yes, there must be 25% in the FCT. If they are not able to prove it beyond reasonable doubt with evidence at the law court, they will throw it out, that there's no evidence, it's lacking evidence. So that is why INEC has refused to make this available. So I think the obedience now should even take the protest to INEC and said, INEC, we are giving you 48 hours. Provide all the electoral materials that are needed. If you don't do this, we will do this. Yes, we need to do that. Because if they don't have evidence, they don't have a case in the law court. Because the judges will give they will give their judgment based on evidence of facts. Even if they know that, yes, the Constitution provides for it, then how do you prove to them that, yes, actually the results were mutilated, or actually he won, but it was manipulated, if you don't have something to show? So the country is in a total mess. Complete mess. How did we offend in this country? Why can't Nigeria just be good? Do we keep folding our hands and taking things the way they come? Let's wait 4 years. 4 years, Tinubu will do another 8 years. And when he is leaving, he will hand over to another criminal that will protect the evil that he will do from now to another 8 years, because he's going to unleash evil. I've had his wife and saying, our family has been blessed. We don't need the money. All we need is just to come and give good governance. Give governance my food. Do you know how much he has spent? He's rich. Yes, we agree. But has he left Lagos and the rest of the Western states alone to be? He is still making them. The way he's making the Western states is the same way he's going to make the entire Nigerian resources. A baron, a criminal will never stop to be a criminal until his life ends. And that is the own kind of person. Greedy and selfish baron. Greedy and selfish individual. What kind of nonsense is all this? So it is time we wake up. We need to face INEC now because the lawyers need the evidence to present in court. And if those evidences are not made available at the law court, the judges will not have something to hold, to give judgment upon. And as we have thrown it in, that is how they will throw it out. And I'm surprised that even up to today, the lawyers have not been making noise about this evidence that has not been made available by INEC. It's a serious matter that should be looked into. I think I will yield my mic here so that other people can speak.
Thank you. Thank you, comrade. For those who are going to speak, we have to keep it within 2 minutes because our time has been fast spent. And like we said again, appropriating it rightly. Ned, go ahead.
My name is Miracle Ned Gideon Chikeze Okigwe. Hence, introduction is actually now the order of the day. I'm a bona fide Nigerian, and my allegiance is to the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and not to anyone else. That being said, I want to say it here. I'm not really protesting this evening because the meeting, the Twitter space meeting with P2B just ruined my day, just spoiled my mood. So I'm not really going to do more protesting. I'm really going to start with a declaration. I want to declare here, and I hope so many people are hearing me. I hope the whole wide world is hearing me. I'm declaring here right now that I do not and will not recognize Senator Bola Ahmed Tinubu as my president. He's not my president, and I do not recognize him as president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. The majority did not vote for him, so he's not the president of majority of Nigeria. He's the president of few individuals in Nigeria that feel that what's going on or him being a president will benefit them or that have been benefiting from him. He's the president of few Nigerians. He's not the president of majority of Nigeria, and so say be, he's not my president, and I refuse to recognize him as my president. As it stands now, if by tomorrow he's inaugurated and all that, I'll just assume I do not have a president. And as I said before, President Muhammad Buhari have refused to see the fact that Nigeria is actually sitting on a time bomb, which he actually triggered that time bomb, and the time bomb is clicking, and as it's ticking, it's getting close to exploding. And when I say this, I've been saying it and I keep saying it. Now, there are stories of how the Igbos have been marginalized and all that, how they call for Biafra and how the Biafran wars and all that. Well, most of those times I would say it was more like a story that being told and all that. But now all this is happening right before me, right in my own eyes. If by tomorrow the Igbos rise up again and say they want to declare Biafra what, who will hold them? Because one, President Muhammad Buhari has actually triggered it. I'm not saying that dividing Nigeria is actually the right way to go because I believe in Nigeria. I do not recognize any other country. I'm not a citizen of any other country, and I do not recognize Biafra. I'm a Nigerian. And whatever that will keep Nigeria going, whatever that will keep Nigeria as one, that's what I'll fight. I'm actually a soldier, although not in the military. I'm a civilian soldier, and I'll fight this incoming administration. I'll fight it. And I'm also taking this protest to my family and my friends and my support group members and those that feel they care about me, that don't want to come out, that are saying, Ned, you're taking this too far, you don't have a spare life and all those things. See, I will not in my own time stand aside and watch this go down, not in my own time, and I'll do nothing. It won't happen. Not just that, I will not even be able to sleep. I will not be able to, I will not feel comfortable with myself. I'm not always comfortable being at home while others are out there protesting on my behalf. And no, 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 no. I'm always not comfortable, and it won't start now. I know how I actually labored for this. How I labored for this change to come to pass. I told a story of how I went to get my uh, PVC. How I went to get registered at INEC in Buhari here. Have a kind of small Fulani settlement before the INEC office, and they have over 30 to 40 dogs they use for hunting. And I left my house at 2:30 a.m., walked down to INEC office, and I passed through there. Over 30 to 40 dogs were surrounded me, backing, and at any slight they would have torn me to pieces. I risked my life to go get my PVC, and I voted. I protected my vote. I didn't sleep for 4 nights and day, protecting making sure it get the final result got to where it's supposed to get. I submitted I escorted and submitted. I made sure that the Buhari Area Council electoral result was submitted and announced, and everything was saved with that. Before I went home to even have my bath, brush my teeth, I even slept. I even take a sleep, and with all that, someone would just come, mess everything. Like I don't just get it. I'm so angry that yesterday I said that I really wished Bola Ahmed Tinubu would that. Like seriously, I really wish he can just sleep this night. I will not wake up tomorrow. I will so much be happy. I'll be the happiest man on earth. And also, I'm taking this protest to Muhammadu Buhari. Sir, you've not done us well. You disappointed. You're the biggest disappointment of my whole entire life. You've disappointed not just me. You disappointed the Nigerian youth. You disappointed everybody, and I believe you disappointed your wife. I believe you disappointed your children, because I don't think your children, your wives, are even happy with you. You're claiming you're running away to Niger Republic. Sir, Karma will catch up with you. It will certainly. You'll not go this you've done. You'll not go scot-free. God will judge you right here on earth in this generation, not in any next generation. In this generation, God will judge you. God will bring you to book. Don't think you are above the law. And for all that are manipulating, spoiling the what people stood under the rain in my own polling units where I was supervising, people stood under it rain that day. People refused to leave to scatter the line. People refused to leave the line because they want to vote, and they voted, and they waited till 3 a.m. for their vote to be counted. And you just come and just do whatever you like. It's very unfair. There is God. Just like Good Luck Jonathan wife would say, there is God. And the truth of the matter is that the blood that was shed on the 25th of February 2023 will keep crying out for vengeance. Imagine someone like Jennifer that was stabbed in the eye, and still she stood and said she must vote and her vote will be counted. And you just come and mess everything, just do whatever, do any pronouncement you wish you could, because we actually paid or bought off or threatened or what. Mr. Yakubu, Mr. Yakubu, I don't even know what your name, I don't even care to. But I'll say in this life, God will judge you in case you feel you are actually above the law, because I wonder what the IGP and all that, what they are doing, why you are actually not being arrested now, why you're not behind the bars. I wonder why. I'm so angry. And parallel facts, sir, thank you for wasting over 2 hours of our time. Thank you for wasting the time of over 34 million people, 34,000 people people across the world, thank you for wasting our time. I wonder why. In fact, P2B should be very, very careful about the people around him, because one, people around him are not doing him good. They're not doing him good. Can you imagine this Twitter space was just a total waste of time, and that I have even used the data to even watch comedy on Facebook, and I need to pay me better than being on that Twitter space. They're not just attacking or attending to the subject matter. There's an inauguration. There's an inauguration that is coming up tomorrow, and nobody's talking about it. Nobody's angry about it. And there's threats to people's life, and nobody's talking about it. Everybody just, in fact, the obedient people are the greatest disappointment, in fact, right now, because one, you need to stand up, and you are not standing up. I have lots to say, because I'm really, really pissed, and I really, really want to pour out my mind as it is, but I'm trying to watch my words, because if I go, I'll just say it the way it is. And well, at this point, I'll just yield my mic. Thank you.
Thank you. Chi, please, you have to keep it within 2 minutes.
Good evening, everyone. I'm taking my protest to Muhammadu Buhari. Muhammadu Buhari, you know, those days in primary school, when they ask you question in class and you fail, the teacher will say, everybody say, shame, 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 shame. And everybody will echo shame. Muhammadu Buhari, shame. Shame that you even have the guts to say that your regime is the best, that you did well in the past 8 years. Yes, you did very well in the past 8 years by appointing Adamu, a minister of education, a man who doesn't know anything about education. And he came out openly on TV. Adamu, Minister of Education, came out openly on TV and said that he never knew anything about the educational sector before he was appointed. So meaning that you picked a novice and made him the Minister of Education. No wonder our education system died in the past 8 years. That youths, children stayed at home for months. The education system collapsed under his regime. So Muhammadu Buhari, you did well in destroying the educational sector of Nigeria in the past 8 years. Some time ago, I was listening to an interview of the Minister of Sports, Akindari or so. And I heard him say that he has never played football in his life. So you succeeded in appointing somebody who doesn't know anything about football, the Minister of Sports. No wonder that's our sports system also died in your regime. And you are telling us that you've achieved so much. It's in your regime that 63,000 people in Nigeria died, killed by Boko Haram. And you said you have done well as a president. It's in your regime that we have 3 million IDPs. It's in your regime that we have 366 refugees in neighboring countries. And you have the guts to tell Nigerians that you have done well in the past 8 years. It's in your regime that terrorists, are rehabilitated and celebrated. That terrorists who are supposed to be executed, you will tell us that they are now, you pardon terrorists, you build houses for them. Why the normal Nigerians, the responsible Nigerians that should have a home, are put in IDP camps, and terrorists take over their lands and their homes? And you are telling us that you have done well as a president. And I say, shame on you. Shame on you that in 2013, 2012, you came to contest for election. When you lost those elections in the different parties you were jumping from, you were shedding tears. Nigerians thought that you had good intention. Some who never knew you in your first regime as a military president thought you had something good in mind. I thank God my late father told me stories about you and how you impoverished the people during your time in 1982. And with that, I never believed in you. And then I preached to so many Nigerians not to vote for you, Buhari, but they still refused and went ahead and voted for you. And the same thing that happened in 1982 is the same thing that played out in your 8 years in Nigeria as a president. The first thing you did was to travel all over the world, places you never went to, using taxpayers' money to go on tourist visits in the name of official visits. And I say, shame on you. Shame on you that is in your regime, that youths will protest for injustice against them, and they were killed at Lekki toll gate, and you didn't do anything about it. Those who killed them are the same people that are being celebrated. Shame on you, Mr. Buhari. Shame on you that you are leaving Nigeria in decay, nothing working. Before you came to power, a bag of rice was 8,000 naira. In Lagos, it was 6,000. In my village then, before you came to power, I bought a bag of rice for 8,000 naira. But today, a common Nigerian cannot afford a bag of rice. And you are telling us that you did well in your 8 years with him. Shame on you, Mr. Buhari. Shame on you that our agricultural sector is a failure, a total failure. Nothing to write home about. Traveling this period, though I'm in the village, in Benue, I bought yam, just 5 pieces of yam. The woman said 2,800 in Benue where they have yam. And I was asking her why yam would be more expensive in Benue. And she said they don't go to farm because of all these Fulani herdsmen. That is just the little they can do that they sell. Yam is supposed to be cheaper in Benue than any other place. But we bought 5 tubers for 2,800. The same thing they sell in Abuja. And you are telling us that you have done well as a president, that the Irish potato that used to be food for the common man has become so expensive because the Plateau people cannot go to farms any longer. And you are telling us you have done well. You have done well by impoverishing the people. That poverty in Nigeria has risen higher than ever. And you are telling us you have done well as a president. You have done well as a president, that so many people lost their job. The moment you came, you became our president, that so many organizations folded up. They left Nigeria. Investors shut down their businesses and left Nigeria to Ghana and other places. How was Ghana before you came into power? And go to Ghana now and see that a lot of companies in Nigeria that folded up, relocated, went to Ghana to go and establish their businesses. And they are doing well. And you are telling us that you have done well. Shame on you, Muhammadu Buhari. Shame on you that your wife, the first lady, has been in Dubai. She lives in Dubai, the first lady of the country. And that's why sometimes I keep asking, are we sure the real Buhari is who we have? Probably he's the same one that Nnamdi Kanu told us. And that's why your wife left you and has been living in Dubai. Shame on you, Mr. President. Shame on you, Muhammad Buhari. That is in your time that criminals are being exalted as president, God forbid. It's in your time that every sector died. See INEC. Yakubu Mahmoud did what you paid them to do what they did. You people, wrote your script and he played it out exactly the way you wanted. And you keep playing, you told Nigerians that you would defend their rights. Why you know that you're not going to do that? So you deceived Nigerians and wasted their time. Shame on you. Shame on you that the common man cannot afford food in your regime. Shame on you that hunger. Look at those little children on the streets begging for food in eateries and everywhere. Shame on you, Mr. Buhari. That is in your regime that Nigeria collapsed. And you are telling us that you have done well. You deserve to be beaten. That the only successful thing you have done as a president is to use our Nigerian money to develop Niger. Shame on you. I yield my mic.
Thank you. And Cecilia, just take 2 minutes and wrap it up as we close.
Good evening, comrade. I'm taking my protest this evening to those of us that are blindfolding Obi. Those of us that are blindfolding Obi, that did not allow Obi to do what he ought to do. Those of us that are surrounding Obi, we don't allow him to listen to the people's opinion and the people's suggestions, right from during campaigns. Those of you that would have formed the cabals of Obi's government that refused Obi not to see anything and hear anything. Those of you that refused Obi from meeting the people who were campaigning for a new Nigeria. No wonder today's meeting was like a campaign meeting, because they didn't have the opportunity to meet with their president. We didn't have the opportunity. Those of you that are surrounding Obi that would have hijacked him. The same thing we are criticizing is the same thing that we saw during the campaigns. Those of you that brought us where we are, those of you that refuse to harmonize the movement of a new Nigeria, those of you that refuse to harmonize Labour Party with PCC, with support groups to get positive results. Those of you that you are still the same people circling Obi and then blindfolding him for him not to do the right thing. I'm taking my protest to you. Continue doing what you're doing. See, all of us, we are in it, so maybe we don't know who Tinubu is. Someone that is able as a citizen, he shuns his party, he shuns the president, he shuns INEC, he smuggled his way as a citizen. Is it as a God? Tomorrow is going to be like our God. Is it tomorrow that we're going to say anything? Is it tomorrow that we think that we'll get it from tomorrow? And we sit down in that meeting, I came out of that meeting like 30 minutes into it because I knew nothing good would come out of it. So I just left. I exited the meeting. So I will come and have my peace. Because I knew that those of you that are blindfolding Obi, I don't know your purpose. I don't know your mission. I don't know why you didn't open this man's eyes. Those of you that refuse to use canvassers, those of you that refuse to go, you brought us where we are because you refuse to harmonize this movement. You were shredding us into pieces because of your private and selfish and wicked missions. I don't know what. Till now, I still don't know I still don't know if you people were genuinely, you meant a new Nigeria. I'm talking to those of you, those few of you that did not allow Obi to meet with anybody working for him. When we give him suggestions, you people will go there. I don't know what you were doing. You blindfolded this man completely, and you are still not satisfied. You are still leading him astray. I don't know what your mission is. From tomorrow, what will befall us? I need some of you to address it in the meeting and talk about what is happening tomorrow and talk about our way forward, how we are going to cope in this country tomorrow. People were talking about pre-elections because we didn't meet with him, of course. We didn't have the opportunity to meet with him. Shame on us that are yearning for a new Nigeria, only in action, only in word. We don't put action. Shame on us that our spirit is yearning, the body is weak, the body cannot work for that new Nigeria. Shame on us that so little money that we should deploy that little money to get positive results. And we held on to that money, thinking that, oh, maybe we have settled ourselves. Shame on us that are doing worse than what we are criticizing. If we don't know who Tinubu is, we will soon know. Can't you see how the Federal Capital Territory is now? We are in a war zone. We are in a war zone now. This place now, like, Aisha Buhari said that we'll live to thank her husband. But God forbid, I don't know the judiciary that will give us justice. That's why when I say it's only the God factor, someone will say it's only God. What else do we do? See, there are countries that value their citizens. If you like, go to Eagle Square tomorrow and commit suicide. Nothing will happen. They'll just push you by the side and forward and forge ahead with what they are doing. Nigeria, we have lost our emotions because we see death, all manners of death in the country. In some other countries, let a citizen commit suicide for a right cause and a just cause. That is the beginning of revolution. But it's not so. If we like, 20 people should go and die in that Eagle Square tomorrow. They will just push us aside. Even the 1 million silence, 1 minute silence will not even reach even 10 seconds. That is the country that we are in. And we gather ourselves because we were tired and we didn't see Obi as a saint, but we saw him as a better person, at least better than the other people. And you people did not advise him well. You led him astray. You're still leading him astray. You can't tell him the truth. Those of you that inaugurated PCC and you didn't find time for our presidential candidate, for our president to even have even media space with PCC. I'm talking to you. You think you are better than Buhari? You think you are better than Tinubu? In your small space that you have given power, what are you doing with it? You're thinking of me, myself, and I. When you see someone who is doing the right cause, you begin to suspect. You begin to look at what is not there. You begin to give names. Meanwhile, you yourself, you're thinking of only you. When you see a little money for you to deploy that resources, be it talent, be it spiritual, be it material, to a good cause to get good results, you hold it onto yourself. I'm talking to you. And we need to start that change. I keep saying that the only slogan that I believe in SB, the only thing that I believe in this government is that their slogan, APC, that change begins from me, in you. If you cannot change yourself, then you can't change anything. Obedience, especially just circling please start the change, start the reform, start a new Nigeria from your own self. That is where we'll get results. Start that new Nigeria from you. I think I'm done. Thank you so much.
Thank you, and thank you very much. And at this point, exactly 11 o'clock, we will come to the end of today's protest. The only thing I'm going to say as we go right now is that we're going to have further meetings. We're going to make our reports, and we'll do an update to the UN, to the EU, to ECOWAS, and all the other respective bodies as we have done in the past, to show our commitment to the struggle, and also our commitment to democracy and to free and fair election. And we'll continue to reiterate as we hold our leadership accountable. Definitely, we're going to do our press briefing because we will not be congratulating anybody yet, as the case is still in court. We will await the judgment of the court before anything is done. And it's also necessary for us to pass through this phase so that we can learn our lessons appropriately. Of course, even with what is going to happen tomorrow, we all know that less than 10% of the nation are those who are happy. So we're living in gloom and darkness and all of that. It's important to reiterate all of those things. But as we move forward, it's also important to state categorically that we're going to be doing a lot to see how we can help our people, especially in this season that we are in. And so we're going to be having meetings and mentorship classes and investing in this training that will help us to be able to galvanize and teach people how to survive this old Nigeria that we are in, how to deal with state capture. We're going to be helping ourselves to the mechanisms of defense in an unfavorable environment. We're going to be dealing with the different types of social struggles that we're already going in, the depression and all the things that we're going to be cloud people. We're going to be dealing with all of that while we go through the process, as we give it a chance to see where that leads, not giving up on where we are as a people, you know. And I want to say in closing that freedom cometh by struggle. We should not close our minds to the fact that this inauguration is not an end. This inauguration is a placeholder. And the court case must end before we also end our protest in that regard. All grounds that have already been gained is not a waste. And we're going to ensure that we teach people also the understanding of the education of the tribunal cases and do the best sensitization that we can as we continue to move forward in our struggle. That being said, I want to say a big thank you to this family that has been created, an objective, a decisive, and a fearless family that will continue to hold to account regardless of who is sworn in. We will continue to hold to account and responsible to ensuring that we move Nigeria forward in an inclusive, democratic, and enabling environment that allows for security, for education, for the good of public leadership. These are part of our tenets, and we will continue to do that and ensure we will continue to work until we free Nigeria of this demonic oppression and evil old order bigots that are bent on destroying our heritage. We'll continue to free Nigeria from the clutches of mindsets and all those who have gang up together to ensure that Nigeria never sits in the Committee of Nations. These and many more will continue to do. And so we'll be setting out to hold classes. Of course, we're still going to do press conference and all the things, the trainings and our programs that will come as we watch through the next 48 hours. Stay put, have a good night, and God blessings. As our custom is, place your hands on your chest, open your microphone, and after the count of 3, we will say the national pledge together. 1, 2, 3. I pledge to Nigeria, my country, to be faithful, loyal, and honest, to serve Nigeria with all my strength, to defend her unity, and uphold our honor and glory.
Thank you, everyone. Good night. Good night, Dr.
Good night, Sissy. Good night, Amy. Good night, Fortune. Victoria, Chi, Maureen, Vivo 1901. Yes, Rita.
Good night,
Ed.
everyone.
Good night.
Good night, everyone.
Good night. God bless you.